Hey everybody, I'm Greg Soul, and this is Why Am I, a podcast where I talk to interesting people and try and trace a path to where they find themselves today. My guest this go-around is Joel, who is also known as Fuel Neve. This writer and voice actor has turned his attention towards making observations on socials that usually dispel some logical fallacy, but he always does it with humor. I like to think this is the subtle art of changing people's mind with humor as the vehicle. He's also an overthinker that has used bravery and losing a family member to start utilizing his many talents. Be sure to follow his socials and check out the Edge of the World broadcast and Mr. Fox. Now, I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Joel. Joel, thanks for joining me on the Why Am I podcast today, bud.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Before you brought it low, now you're bringing the energy, dude. I love it. You're feeding me. You're pepping me up.
Well, you know, we're trying, baby. We're trying.
I'm gonna eat on this. I'm gonna put a little in my pocket. Save it for later. It's gonna emergency. I'm just gonna pull it out and feel great. So I tell you what, man. This podcast is a weird one where I run into weird people, and only weirdos agree to do this. So I just letting you know that you're part of an elite club of strange people. No, genuinely, everybody's a mystery to me. I love each and every human that I get to meet, some more than others. Some tend to vibrate on my wavelength, and when I first saw some of your stuff on TikTok, I was like, man, this is my guy. And I wonder if he would be crazy enough to talk to me, and he said yes. So that's cool. But there is one singular question that I ask every guest, and we're going to go wherever you want to go with this, brother. And so it is, Joel, who are you?
How do I answer that?
However you like. Isn't that fun?
No.
Here, let me add a little.
Welcome to the world of sheer existential dread.
No, it's like being born. All of a sudden, here you are. You got to figure this stuff out, man. Perhaps I'm your Sherpa. I'll help guide you through. So, I like to tell some people occasionally. So, I do some magic, some sleight of hand, right? Mm-hmm. And the real question that you should be asking yourself is, what came first, the magic or the mustache? And that I will not answer. You just have to let your imagination run wild. But part of that I've learned is I have this pattern that goes along with it. And the thing I say is, I'm going to ask you who you are, but it's not necessarily what you do for a living. And I've noticed, like through observation, because I'm always observing people because they're always weird to me. I've never understood them. I've always been kind of an outsider looking in on, other humans, human behavior. And so everybody that you meet in life sees you as somebody, right? So my kids see me as one person. My partner sees me as somebody else. This friend sees me as that. My mom sees me as that. But only I really see me as who I am. And so with that in mind, like, who is Joel? Did that make it better or worse?
A little of both. But I am dumbed down. I am aspiring to fail less. That is who I am. I am a man aspiring to fail less.
Fail less. You think fail less or maybe fail better? I feel like most of the success I have in life, it's I fail at something over and over until it finally works, and then I can move on to something else. So,
well, that's kind of what I meant. Just fail less. I guess it's like fail less in degrees. Like, that was really bad, but this is not as bad. It's a little less bad. So it's kind of fail better, fail less.
Do you feel like you're constantly trying to outrun failure? Is that how you define your life? Like some major milestones of like, I failed at that, I think I failed at this thing. What's the story? Why would that be one of your core personality traits?
Therapy. That's why. No, when I started to go to therapy and actually talk to someone, I realized that I focused so much on my failures that it negated the good things or the positive aspirations I could have. It was just a constant cycle of I failed, I suck. I guess I'll try. I failed again. I suck. And it was just this constant cycle that was just killing my head and my heart, my relationships and my life. And now when I say fail less, I don't mean in like, oh, that didn't work. I just mean like it's less important. It's less of a monument on the path of life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So it sounds like you want it to be less impactful. Like it sounds like you were allowing it to kind of derail things. Are you the kind of person that like really circles around on things and you like bring it back and you think about it and just overthink it and oh my gosh, I should have done that. I can't believe I said this thing. Is it that kind of thing?
Oh yeah. Fail less than is a shame spiral. That's a word that they
shame
use.
Spiral. There you go.
Shame spiral. That's what she said it was. So when I say fail less, I'm trying to make it less of a overwhelming, destructive Mark Maron level of hyperfixation.
Yeah. Do you feel like it used to hold you back from things? Like, oh, I just know I'm going to fail this thing. I'm not even going to try. Like, it was that kind of stuff?
Oh, God, yes.
Okay.
Oh, God, are you kidding me? Yes. Holy crap. Oh, God, yeah. Sorry, I can't say that loud enough or long enough. Yes.
It's like fear of failure. So my brain doesn't work, I think, like a lot of people. So fear of failure has never really stopped me from doing something. Mostly it's my laziness, I think, that would just keep me from doing stuff. But I do understand that it is like a big... And for some people, it's like a constant companion they have, like this little voice that, whispers in their ear sort of thing. And I'm always curious, like people that do have that, how do they overcome it? Like how do you come to grips with that? How do you put your hands around that thing?
On a personal level, I can't speak for other people, but I will speak 100%. For me. What really started maybe I should get... are you okay with swearing a little bit?
Yeah, go to town.
Great. What really got me in my head starting with I should get this shit under control, or maybe I should figure something out, was my dad passing away. That was the first step in like, shit, I should figure this out. I should start maybe focusing on that, figuring out why I'm where I'm at. And then the big one was meeting my son. My oldest boy is not biologically mine. Yeah, when I met him, he was 9 months old, and I've been dad ever since. And it was those two moments for me personally that was like, I should get my head. Oh, I need to get my act together. Oh, this is not good. Those are the moments that impacted me and made me go like, I should get my act together.
How old were you when you lost your dad?
32.
All right. So not that terribly long ago.
No, actually, The Avengers came out. The Avengers, the first one was in the movies, the theater. So it's like 12 years, 13 years ago. That was the last movie I got to see with him. And I should have known that, like, he's not going to get better, because he suggested to go see a comic book movie. And my dad, that was not his thing. But we get to the theater, we're sitting there, and have you seen The Avengers? Have you seen the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, best part. He's very frail. My dad is very frail at the time. He's very sick. Cancer is just... He called it the Big C diet. But Loki gets grabbed by the Hulk, and they slam back, forth. And then he lays there and goes, oh! And my dad, hard belly laugh. I haven't heard him laugh like that in like 6 months, right? And some guy, three rows up, just like, hey, shut up down there. And my dad goes, no. And the guy goes, you don't need to be laughing so hard. And he goes, fuck you, I'm dying from cancer. And then he just turns and looks back, and I look at my dad, and he just goes, Loki would be fucking proud of me right now. And then but yeah, that's one of my favorite memories of him going, fuck you, I'm dying of cancer. And then just turning right back to the movie. Just traumatizing a room full of children.
Guy just dropped the C card hard, man.
Oh, my dad, yeah, he used that to his advantage. He was a nurse in the ER, so he had no illusions. He had gallows humor. He knew what was up. So, to me, yeah, that was one of my favorite memories.
I love it, dude. I love people like that take something and do it their own way. There's a fella I made friends with actually through doing this podcast, a guy named Craig Coombs, and when I was talking to him, he was 10 years on his terminal cancer diagnosis, and he does this thing called Naked Tuesday where he should not be taking these pictures of himself. I'm just going to put that out there. Craig, if you hear this, they're not tasteful nudes like you think they are. No, they're distasteful nudes, which I absolutely love. He covers himself, right? But he's had people tell him, it's like, that's not how you do cancer. And he's like, fuck you. This is how I do cancer. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't get to tell these people how to live their lives, especially now, right?
Hold up. How do you do cancer? I didn't realize we were gatekeeping fucking cancer.
I don't know. I think you're supposed to take all these cancer patients and lock them in a room somewhere and pretend like they don't exist. Like they shouldn't be in your face. They shouldn't be visible. And I don't know, man. It's like that gets my hackles kind of up. So it's like I love people that one can approach anything with humor, especially. I don't know, man. That's like my defense mechanism. When something heavy happens, I'm the guy making quiet jokes to the person sitting next to me at the funeral. Like I don't know. It's almost like a pressure relief valve for me when things get too stressful. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I tend to do that. But yeah, it kind of trips me out when people have these heavy opinions on how you should handle something in your heart, in your mind, in your body. It's like, I don't think you get to tell me that.
Yeah, those are the type of people that, again, I know I mentioned me therapy. That's the type of person who I feel definitely could benefit from maybe talking to someone about why you feel the need to gatekeep how someone's life is going to end.
But if they were the kind of person that would be willing to accept, like, hey, maybe I should get therapy, then they probably wouldn't be the person having the problem to begin with, right?
Shit. You're right. All right.
It's kind of.
I thought I was being real deep and pithy there, and then you're just like, nope. Hey, jackass, this is how you do it.
Yeah, I'm just here to kick your dick in the dirt, bud. That's what this podcast is all about.
So we're dating now. Perfect. Great. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to start us out on the right foot, establish dominance immediately. No, but it sounds like because you have an amazing sense of humor, and it like definitely speaks to me, and it sounds like you got maybe part of that from your dad.
Yeah, my mom and my dad they're the two jokers. Yes, everyone. I definitely got it from them. That is without a doubt.
Do you have any siblings?
One brother, younger, one sister, a year younger than me.
Okay. Is their sense of humor similar to yours?
My sister and my brother are the funniest people on the planet. This is not me being like, oh, I love my family so much that I'll just say nice things. No, I hate the fact that they are infinitely funnier than me. I am funny in the shock jock, Andrew Dice Clay humor. They are hilarious in the subtle George Carlin, Bill Hicks, amazing word style humor that will just cut you in ways you did not know you could be verbally sliced to ribbons.
Something that manifests with your therapist years later, that kind of thing.
The kind of humor, the kind of jokes that you laugh at it, and then 3 weeks later you realize what the actual joke was, and you're like, holy shit, they got me. They are legitimately the funniest people I've known.
Oh my gosh. So when you guys get together, are you like competing to make each other laugh?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore. I can't. I get my feelings hurt way too easy. I quit trying to compete with them. I let them have at it. I don't. Not anymore.
That's fine. That's fine. I think it's nice that you're being magnanimous about it and kind of letting them have their moment, giving them their flowers. That's kind of
no, it's nothing to do with that. It is pure survival instinct.
Oh my gosh. Is your mom pretty savage, or is she pretty nice? She keep it pretty PC.
Oh, she calls herself Queen Buffness.
Queen Buffness.
Yes, she's the queen of the known universe and all she surveys. That is that. That's how she introduces herself. No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know if you're religious or not, but and if you're not, that's fine. I'm not trying to make it religious. I just, you know how people talk about, oh, you need to live like a good Christian lifestyle and you need to be like a good Christian.
Sure.
My mom is what they actually mean. Not the Bible thumping, is the I love Jesus, but I also love you, and I'm going to genuinely be nice to everyone and not be fake and show you love and ability to read the room and learn and be like, oh, interesting. I have learned something new. I shall now change my worldview and continue forward, becoming a better person. That's my mom. She's like, if Christianity had an ideal of what you're supposed to be like other than Jesus, it would be Queen Buffness.
So you said you did a lot of travel abroad and things like that, and I haven't done a ton of travel abroad, but I've made a lot of friends from abroad. And something I've noticed, they say, is whenever they come to the States, is they realize that people seem nice at first, but then they realize it's just fake nice. And you know, that, like, especially here in the South, right? Oh, bless your heart, right? Everybody seems so nice and polite and kind. But, you know, it's a veneer on a lot of people. And very few times have I run into people where I feel like they're genuinely kind people because it's just in their heart to be kind, and they're accepting and warm and welcoming. And man, when I find those people, I latch on to them. I hold on to them. It sounds like you've got that in your mom for sure.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. I am. It's taken me a while to recognize just how lucky I am. Like, with being as much of a schmuck as I was, and to have the mom I have and the dad I had and the family I have, I'm very blessed. I don't use that often, but I am. The universe has been good to me. I am very lucky to have the parent I have.
Well, dude, what's you know, gratitude's a big, like, actually, like, I was talking to somebody on here, changed my perspective on gratitude, and it's kind of made me, I think, an overall happier person. But it's something had to happen. Like this, I had to talk to this person. So what was like the change that like kicked that off for you?
Again, and I'll be 100% real with you. It was my dad dying. Prior to my dad dying, if you had met a more entitled, insufferable, self-righteous piece of shit who genuinely believed that the world revolved around him and believed that everyone's out to get me instead of actually accepting responsibility for being just a lazy douchebag, I would call you a liar, because there was no one bigger than yours truly. But that was the catalyst for me, like, oh, maybe I should be, I don't know, a better human being. was my old man passing away. That was the catalyst for me to actually try and change.
Man, it sounds like, I don't know, would you describe it as like an awakening? Something like that? Just all of a sudden
emotional rock bottom.
Emotional rock bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, when people hit rock bottom when they drink and they need to get sober. This was my emotional rock bottom.
Did you realize how much you actually cared for your dad? Like how strong your connection was until he was like going through all this stuff?
I didn't understand the nuances of it. I knew I cared for him. I knew I loved my dad. I knew I loved him, but I didn't have I didn't have the vocabulary that I have now to be able to quantify it. I just had the I love my dad. And that, but now as I'm older, I'm like, oh, and now I understand just how much I loved my dad. Like but back then I didn't understand it.
I know growing up for me, like I had my mom, and I would tell her I loved her and I loved her and all that stuff. But I never really fully understood what that word meant until I had kids of my own. And I think feeling unconditional love for somebody else, like, I think was a huge just awakening for me. Like, it's something that was entirely unexpected. And to be honest, I still don't love my mom the way I love my kids. Like, the way I just, like, that feeling for them is so encompassing. Like, I just never truly realized it.
The first night I met my oldest, the first night I met him, he was 9 months old. That was that one of those nights where it's just like, oh my god, like I literally that that your heart, that expression in my heart stopped, and you couldn't breathe. That was meeting Eli, meeting him for the first time, and I have no idea why. I love babies. Babies are awesome, but there was just something about this kid who, when he looked up at me and was just like, "Hey, you gonna hold me?" It's just like, like, I can't explain it. I have yet to figure it out, but there was that moment. I was like, that's love. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
For me, like, when my wife was pregnant, I didn't want kids. Like, I've never felt like an affinity for children or anything like that. And I was honestly scared that I was, like, not going to feel anything for this kid. Like, I was super worried about it. But that night after she had him, she had a C-section, so she was, like, pretty much out. Like, it took her out, and I was taking care of him. And at one, I think it was like 3 a.m. after, like, the 80th diaper, I had to wake up and change. I looked at him and I said, "I love you" to him. And in that moment, like, holy shit, it's true. Like, it's real. Like, I mean this. And I don't know, like, that worry, that fear just was gone, and it was just replaced by, that just unconditional love, which is super strange to try and navigate around. Like, if you've never sort of experienced that thing before, and how do you explain that feeling to somebody else that has never had, like, kids or that, I liken it to trying to explain what a color is to somebody who was born blind. It's like, it's like impossible, like, to describe that thing.
Trying to put into words, trying to describe the biological and evolutionary imperative of a human being is just, I've given up trying. It's just like, shit, there's no way. Again, perfect colors to a blind person. It's on that same level. You're absolutely right.
Well, and I don't know about you guys, but, like, down here in the South, there's this formula that you follow. First, you marry your cousin. No, you marry somebody very young, and then you immediately have kids, and then, there's, like, all these things you're supposed to do. And I've noticed that formula seems to be really falling apart these days. When I see people try and get shoehorned into that formula, like, oh, this is going to be a mistake. Like, you can 100% see it a mile away, but people still follow that. I mean, it's usually kind of a religious obligation to kind of fall into those patterns. And I don't really necessarily see that as much of, like, an imperative these days. I don't know. What's your feeling on that?
I think we're in a weird sort of transitional period, society-wise, because, like, here where I live in southern Indiana, it's this weird mix of old school. You got to get married at a young age, and you got to go straight to work, and you got to go have kids. Right? And then there's also the understanding that you can't do that anymore. You just can't work at a factory anymore. So I think right now it's not quite the same, or there is a change because you have these two forces kind of clashing into each other. The desire to hold it back like it used to be back in the day, to the reality of where we live now. I've noticed that a lot, because you hear the old timers, and then my generation, the millennials, where they're just like, we can't do that. And then, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they're just like, fuck that. Nuh-uh, not going to happen.
Well, I've heard society kind of swings like a pendulum, right? Where it's like the society as a whole is more conservative, then it'll swing back neutral, and then kind of more liberal and back and forth. Do you think we're just on one of those swings right now?
I want to answer this diplomatically.
I see the wheels turning very rapidly.
I don't want to be that guy who turns this into a political rant. I have to keep reminding myself, this is not TikTok.
We go in politics already?
No, we're not. I think it is unfortunate that we as a society we're on a swing. This happens every, I'm going to say 80 years. If you'll notice, back in the 80 to 100 years. So 1920 was the last big pandemic, right? And in the 1920s, you had the big pandemic. Then you had a war. It's tail end of World War I. About to go into World War II. You've got the pandemic. And as a result, religion and conservative thought process becomes incredibly popular. I'm not saying anything bad. It's a historical precedent. And then I noticed in 2020, we just kind of got out of Afghanistan, a forever war, the pandemic, religion, the Christian belief system is making a big comeback societally wise, and we're about to go into another war. So it does. You're right. It does come in curves, but like all pendulums, as the momentum gathers, it goes further up one side, and then it's going to come back and go further up the other. So that scares me.
Yeah. How long are we in? Because I don't know that it's ever. I wouldn't say it's ever great if you're all the way on the tip of the pendulum swing. When you get like all the way up, and shit, are we even at that? Are we even at that apex of the swing? Right? Have we made it all the way to the conservative side yet? Or are we still trucking up that way? I don't know. Like, I don't think it's ever good if you're all the way at the peak at one direction or the other, right? Somewhere maybe a little bit more towards the middle is a little bit better. Like, kind of, I try not to think about too much of this stuff because it genuinely like I've almost gone. I mean, for you, it seems occupationally you have to stay connected to this stuff, but for me, it has been like so bad for my health to watch the news. Like, it has made me such an unhappy person. But you're doing God's work out there because somebody has to see it and react to it and give voice to all the things that are in my head that I just can't stand to like voice myself these days because I just feel so exhausted by it.
It is challenging, and it's kind of nice because my grandparents live here as well. So I have my grandparents, my mom, my boys, and me. We're all in one big house because the economy here really, really sucks, and we need to save money. But I have learned so much on how to properly explain politics to my 89-year-old grandma, who still believes that trans people are purposely faking their way into high school girls' bathrooms just so they can shower. So it's like, Grandma, just stop talking for just a second. Okay, Grandma, we don't use that particular word about someone of that skin color. Just stop. I love you. Stop that. Do you really not know that's a bad one? Yeah, it just got changed the past few years. Okay, now you know. So it's a lot like that.
It was last week. You probably didn't catch it. No big deal. Yeah.
It's been interesting and not a challenge, but more I'm going to say a really good lesson on, especially when working in social media and attempting to have a political point of view without it becoming a problem. You know what I mean? Or making it a problem, or making it confrontational. Like it has been a pretty good learning tool for me. Am I babbling? I feel like I'm
Well, no,
babbling.
I'm just laughing about you you saying not being confrontational when some of your TikToks are.
Look,
Yeah,
some shit you just can't let
you
go.
you got
Shit
some
you
hot.
just-
Yeah, you're coming in hot. You're coming in hot on some of these, but it's not like
Some
it's
of them.
unwarranted. I totally get it, but
Yeah.
also you're kind of you're doing what you have to. Like to me, it's the proper approach. Obviously, not for everybody, but something I struggle with. My oldest, he's 19, and he comes in hot. I'm talking like 1,000 degrees on everything, and he wants to debate something at the top of his lungs with you. I'm like, brother, you're never going to change any hearts or minds attacking people, right? Like that's just not how it works. And I had a conversation with somebody else, the librarian. He said, actually that does change a few minds, but I would argue that you're going to change more minds if you come in from, say, your approach, which is humor. There's always this humorous edge to it. And I don't care which side of the fence you're on. Like, I would hear the things you're saying and find them funny, even if I believe the opposite of it. And I think sometimes you have to have some kind of cheat code to like break in to at least get somebody to hear something, to maybe plant a seed of doubt. To me, that's where most hearts and minds change. It's that little seeds that get planted and then they'll grow to fruition. Like, I think maybe the right opportunity has to happen, right? Some thing in your life has to hit you, and all these seeds are already there, and then they can flourish. But it's tough because I see some people scream, and it's just not going to make any change. But you're sneaking in the side door, dude, and I love it.
I tried to do the Anthony Bourdain approach, which is Anthony Bourdain made people laugh. He empathized with them. He made a good joke, but he also was pretty brutal with his jokes. But the execution was right. He had empathy with you, so that at the end of it, you could have a conversation. You might not leave changing minds, but you had that conversation. You planted the seed, and then you go on with your day. I tried the Anthony Bourdain approach, which is come in with a good joke. Doesn't matter what room you're in. You get a good joke and execute it right. You won. You're in.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen him, like, because I watched a lot of his stuff and I have a lot of respect for him. He never really cracks in the moment. Like, he pulls it together. He may not be happy about it, and his whole body language may tell you that, but he pulls it together. And a lot of stuff he does, I think, too, is he leads with his heart first. It's all about people. And the way he sneaks in is like food. But all of his stories to me are really about the people and the culture that creates this food. And that's how he kind of brings you along. But genuinely, it's all about people and why they matter. And I think so many... This is a drum I think I'm going to beat probably for the rest of my life, is that right now it feels like we group everybody into these big chunks, right? You're an immigrant, you're a criminal, you're an X, you're a Y, you're a Z. As soon as you do that, you dehumanize this group of people, and they stop becoming people to you, and you can do bad and mean things to them. And the Anthony Bourdain approach was, let me show you their face, let me tell you their names, and let me tell you why they matter. And that is so important. I feel like we're forgetting that these are actual humans with thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams, just like you. And it's so hard. I don't understand how we can get past that.
At the past, human beings, evolutionarily speaking, we're very tribal species. We're very much like it's us versus them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it just goes back to our caveman days, right? And the problem is, and God, I'm going to sound like an old man, but thankfully, science is behind me on this one. Echo chambers are the worst possible thing for human interaction ever. And unfortunately, social media, as beautiful and as great as it is, and I enjoy being able to make jokes and make points and educate people or try and be educated. I've learned so much from social media, and unfortunately, the echo chamber is the capacity for echo chamber super easy in the algorithm and in its very base is a big problem. And I think that's where it comes from, is just social media's propensity to create the echo chamber. And because we're not seeing them, like right now, you and me, We're having that conversation. I'm seeing your face. You're seeing my face. You're seeing how everything's reacting. We don't have that anymore. So we've kind of become a bit more calloused, a bit more callous for other people. And touching grass, I think, is one of the most important things you can do in today's society.
Yeah. It seems like to your point, it seems like it's really easy to get disconnected from people and use social media as like a surrogate for actual. I know I've heard people argue that this isn't human interaction, but to me, this is like having this conversation with you. Science, again, backs this up that my brain will release dopamine. Sometimes in conversations like this, our brains will release oxytocin, which is like the bonding drug, right? Like the chemical that gets let loose in your brain. So to me, this is real. And I don't think that is nearly, I've heard that your brain can do some of that stuff too at seeing pictures of people, but I don't think it's nearly as common and not as strong. It's not as potent. So it's just a stopgap. You know, it's like drinking diet soda all the time, I guess, or like LaCroix for the rest of your life. It's just, unfulfilling.
No, that might have been the simplest yet deepest insult against LaCroix ever. Unfulfilling.
And these people can at me. Like, I don't give a damn. I'm not going to yuck on anybody's yum, but LaCroix, somebody described it as it's like drinking TV static. And I was like, that feels like it.
Okay. Am I the only one who thinks that Dr. Pepper tastes like TV static and barbecue sauce?
Barbecue sauce. I could see that, man, because it's exceptionally sweet. Now, having said that, I got to tell you that I grew up in Waco, Texas, birthplace of one, all the best cults, but number two, Dr. Pepper. So, it's in my veins, brother. I can't escape it.
See, hopefully next summer we'll be coming to right outside of Waco, Texas, actually. To swim with some otters.
Dude, I've seen that thing. My wife's not going to watch this. Yeah, I plan on like setting up like the encounter thing with those otters specifically for her because she's like super into that stuff. Like, I remember I told you the touchy-feely sensory person. Can you imagine being able to swim with otters and pet them and stuff? She's going to freak out, but she doesn't know that yet. But I grew up in Waco. If you are so inclined, I'd be happy to come down, say hi, show you around to all my favorite places. That's one of my favorite things to do is when I'm traveling, if I have a local, is to like have them say, yeah, let's go to this place. Let's go to this place. Let's do this thing. Not to say I want to intrude on your things, or I could just give you a list of stuff to do. Either way.
It's me and my kids. We're going to be having a great time. I don't care. Come along.
For sure.
They'll meet Uncle Greg.
So you're saying stuck in echo chambers, one of the worst things we can do for ourselves. I think 100%. And like, this is one of my ways of doing it is I feel like we operate on similar wavelengths by trying to talk to people that are very different from me all the time, that believe different things, even stuff that I don't necessarily. I never thought I would, and I don't at this time believe in the psychic ability to speak with pets, but I talked with a pet psychic, had a great conversation, actually learned a bunch of stuff. So to me, that's kind of my way of breaking out of my echo chambers. I'm curious, like for you in nowhere, Indiana, like what are your options? Like, what do you suggest? Like, how do you do that?
Honestly, social interactions here are like, I don't drink anymore. So bars are kind of off limits for me. Not like it just serves no purpose. It serves no good purpose for me. So I'm just like, no, we're not going to do that. So honestly, I don't know, because I keep my social circle small. I don't. I think the most important thing that really is going to help with, if you're living in a small town, is to maintain and recognize empathy and just patience. Because if you don't have to go out and specifically learn about other people. Like, you can. That's the beauty of the internet. That's the beauty of being able to. But if you don't want to, or you can't, if you just maintain your empathy and patience and just courtesy, you're gonna learn so much more if you didn't have those 3 simple life skills. If you can maintain and cultivate them, I feel you're going to get way further along than most people.
Mm. So I grew up not with, so I don't have a lot of feelings. There's not a lot of feelings in my body. I've had to like kind of learn that over time. It's a thing. So I've tried to like teach myself, and honestly doing this has been a big part of it. So I'll hear somebody tell me a story and I'll guess what they're feeling. And I was awful at it at first just because I don't understand those things, but I've since gotten better and better and better. But what's helped me kind of develop empathy and learn to do that thing, because I feel like it is a muscle. Like it's something you can train, and it's also something that can atrophy if you don't use it very often. You know, you're going to start kind of losing those abilities. But curiosity has helped me a lot, and just asking questions. You know, so just instead of like assuming I know what this person's thinking or whatever, is just ask the question. Like that's helped me a lot. I'm just curious, like what you think about for people that don't necessarily have that muscle built up. It's like, how would you think they could best approach that stuff?
No, you knocked it out of the park there. I wish I had thought about that. Curiosity, maintaining a curiosity and a willingness, and not just having curiosity, but a willingness to ask, kind of like the bravery to be able to ask.
100%.
Because I think, especially today, oh God, I'm really starting to sound like an old man.
No, you're kind of starting to sound like Mr. Rogers. I'm digging it.
Goddamn these kids these days. But I've noticed that it's not just being able to cultivate the desire to have empathy or the desire to be curious. It's a lot of it is the bravery to ask, to not be afraid, to say, I don't know. I think you're making me think a lot of thoughts I haven't thought of before. Wow, I normally have a checklist of what I can answer with everything. Well done.
Stop making me feel my feelings. Ugh.
No, stop making me feel feelings I'm not, or have questions I'm not accustomed to, damn it. But no, being brave enough to ask, I think is one of the things, like one of the more important things you can have and actually do. If you maintain that, your capacity to learn and grow will not be hindered.
I think that's a huge one. So I grew up with crushing social anxiety. Like I had trouble being in groups of people, like all that stuff. Like I never talked to anybody. And so that really hits home with me, like the bravery piece. Something I've learned in more recent years is a little trick I use is 5 seconds of guts. You only have to be brave for 5 seconds. You can pretty much do anything in the world if you're just brave for 5 seconds. So if like you want to ask a person a question, you only got to be brave for 5 seconds. Like you can absolutely do that. Like a 5 count on your hand, you can be brave and ask that question. It's easier to say in my head than it is to practice in reality, but sometimes I'll feel it on my hand in my pocket. I'll just move my fingers one at a time. Only got to be brave for those 5 seconds to ask that. Like, it's bizarre. Like I've had to cold call people before, and I'm pretty good on the phone. Like I can hold the conversation. I can do all that stuff, but just dialing the number is sometimes the scariest thing in the world, which is so crazy. I don't know why that is, but it exists in my body, and I just don't understand it.
No, that makes perfect sense. It's like the Schrodinger's cat of social interactions. This could go either way. Both possibilities exist at the exact same moment. Why would I want to fuck it up?
Yeah, for sure, man. Bravery. I like that a lot. Like I put some asterisks by that. I think that's truly great. But you'd also have to have something compelling enough to make you want to be brave, right? There has to be something in your body that says, hey, we need to overcome this fear. And so
I would have thought that would just been the curiosity. You put those two together,
hopefully.
that drive, that curiosity. Because if you maintain the curiosity and the empathy and the desire to learn, and then you couple that with the bravery. Sure shot right there, baby. You're on top of it.
For me, I kind of make it a game. Like, I want to learn everything about a person. Like, it's like this fun game. How much can I learn? And so that's like this little trick for, I turn everything into a game, everything into like a little competition with myself. And like, I'd like to compete and all that stuff. So if I can kind of gamify, like, can I win this conversation? Can I get this person to, like, have an interesting conversation with me? Because I've learned that you're not supposed to ask anybody any question that you ever think of. I've learned that from my wife, that some people find things uncomfortable because genuinely anybody can ask me anything at any point. I have no problems. Like, my brain is not wired correctly. So by the other side of that coin, I can ask anybody anything, but I've learned there's certain things you don't ask people, or it's like you have to find interesting ways to broach those things. And so all of this becomes a game. Can I still get the same information but just not ask the question I know I'm not supposed to ask? Can I find my way to the answer anyway?
Well, okay, I have so many questions I'm going to ask you off the air. That one, I have so many. Secondly, see, now you need to have the you could start a new podcast. The Inappropriate Questions podcast.
Oh,
where it is just specifically like, I'm going to so societal norms be damned, we're gonna just ask questions. Now that show I like, that idea I like,
but that's subjective, because everybody's questions are going to be different questions, like the ones that are inappropriate, right? So it's like,
God damn it, that
becomes another game. Now I get to figure out what are the inappropriate questions to ask you specifically. So it could be fun in that respect too. I think it's a great idea all the way around. Like, maybe how quick can I make somebody uncomfortable and give myself a countdown clock? I bet you I could do it pretty fast.
Oh yeah. There's just And then I guess the real fun for the show would be finding those people who immediately answer back. And now it's just like a tennis match of just inappropriate verbal grenades going back and forth, seeing who's going to crack first.
Verbal grenades. I love that. Well, so you mentioned podcasts, and I happened to find The Edge of the World stuff when I was doing a little digging around. And some of my earliest memories are sitting in the library at school, and I still remember sitting in kind of the semicircle. The lady had the old school projector with the little push the buttons, and she was telling a story about these people on the prairie and how they had to load their weapons with coins and buttons and stuff to like fight off some Native Americans or something like that. But as far back as I can remember, I've always loved having people tell me stories. And so I infinitely enjoyed, I'm only like 4 episodes in, but I've infinitely enjoyed you telling this story in my ears. And I'm just curious, to me, that's voice acting, that's storytelling, that's story writing. Like, brother, you're the whole package. I'm just curious, how long have you been doing this kind of work, this kind of, I don't know, what would you call that?
I don't know what you'd call it.
Entertaining, for sure.
An entertaining hobby?
How long have you been an entertainer?
I have been trying to do it since I was a kid. I would have ideas and I would start, and then later on I realized, like, when I would tell people my ideas, and then they would be like, that's a great idea, I would get the dopamine hit, and then I would not need to follow through, because now I have that dopamine hit, so all these great ideas get left by the wayside. But honestly, when it became serious, like writing the Edge of the World broadcast and writing the other 2 shows I'm working on right now, and actually putting them out there, it's just because I realized my age. And with my kids, I'm like, I'm relatively young. I've got a good 25 years left before I suddenly have a heart attack and die in the middle of, whatever. But I don't want, and this is going to sound bad, but I don't want to be like my dad, where I don't leave something tangible behind. Like, he left me, he left my brother, he left my sister, he left a happy family and great memories and a community that loved him. But he didn't leave a tangible, like, I can pull this back and I can hear the voice and they can tell me a story. And honestly, I know I've said it like 3 times, but genuinely, everything that I'm doing now and who I'm trying to be and the content I want to make online and the stories I want to tell, and like I'm almost done with a book. I'm trying. It all stems from his passing and me actually, having to have that moment where it's like, maybe you shouldn't be acting borderline pathological with your nonsense. You know what I mean? And it's come, like, this is all stemming from that, the desire to just leave something more.
The more I hear you talk about your dad and the impact of his passing, it kind of feels like he passed you the torch. Like his time was done and he's passed it on to you, and you said, oh, now I've got to pick up and I've got to do this. I've got to do this. Like, do you feel like you're kind of like filling his shoes in a sense?
No, I don't feel like I'm filling his shoes. We got real lucky with my dad and him passing. Dad, he was a nurse, so he knew death. He understood what was coming. He had his head in the game. He knew how to handle it, and we kind of got the best version of Pops. You know what I mean? Right before he passed, we got the best version of him. Great. You couldn't ask for a better way to go. Well, that's not true. But you couldn't ask for a better memory to leave behind than knowing it's coming, knowing the time you have, and becoming the best version of yourself. And I don't think it's me trying to pick up the slack. It's me just trying to live up to that. Like, I see, like, oh shit, he really knows he's going to die. There's no other way around it. And look how he handled himself. To me, that's where it got me. That's where everything that you see me trying to do now, I feel stems from that moment of watching him, waste away and still get shit done. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my... Yeah, so honestly, my desire to write has always been there. My desire to tell a story has always been there, but there wasn't a catalyst prior to that made me realize, oh shit, I need to do it. I need to be able to leave something behind. I have to actually step up or it's all going to be gone. Does that make sense?
100%. It makes me wonder, do you ever have feelings where you think, I don't know, I guess probably regrets, like, oh man, I wish I had started doing this before this happened, or I wish I had gotten my shit together sooner? Is that something that hits you sometimes?
Oh God, yeah.
The guy that overthinks, I'm just curious if that's...
Every day. I think about it at least once a day. Once a day, at least. Once a day for a good 10 minutes. 10 minutes minimum. Like, this shit would be a lot easier if I had just gotten my head out of my ass and did it sooner.
Can I tell you a secret that's going to piss you off?
Please.
It's that I don't feel regret and I don't feel guilt. That's not a thing that exists in my body. I'd look at past things that I fucked up on, and I say, you know what? If I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have done that. So I wasn't at a place where I had the tools that made me capable of doing that better. Now that I do, guess what? I don't repeat those mistakes. So it allows me to not feel regret or guilt. Like how can you feel guilty if a child doesn't understand something and they make a mistake? It's like how could you feel bad about that? I look back and think, oh, well, there's something I absolutely learned from that, and now I pick up and move forward. And I've also learned that that's not a normal thing. It took me a little while to learn that that people have that in their bodies, and it causes them a lot of duress. And I was like, holy cow, it must suck for you people. But it sometimes it sounds like a blessing, but it's also a curse too, because my partner experiences all those normal human things, and she wants empathy, and it's like, how do I empathize with a feeling I've never felt in my life? Like, I've never once felt jealousy in my life. Case in point, my wife and I were dating, and she had this guy that was interested in her call, and he'd be like, hey, is Chris there? I'd be like, sure, here she is. Boop. And I'd hand her the phone, and I'd like never have felt a single thing. And it's just like, it doesn't exist to me. And so if a normal person feels those things and they want you to empathize, it's like, how do I do that? I've never experienced that thing. You know, it's like, yeah, like a deaf person not being able to hear something. It's super strange.
Well, let me ask you a question then. So, and if I go too far, or I say something offensive, have you spoke to someone about this? Like a professional?
Oh, like therapy or something?
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay. No, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying, like, it's interesting that what you're describing sounds almost sociopathic.
100%, right? Yeah.
And it's not like that's a bad thing. Good Lord, majority of CEOs and successful people are sociopathic. That doesn't make them inherently evil. That whole concept of like psychopathy, meaning, you know, you're going to turn into a serial killer, or you're just a bad person.
No, I've explored this this stuff before, and I have very traumatic childhood associated with a certain level of autism. So it's like, who knows what part of that gumbo suppressed my ability to feel a lot of things.
I like how I strive when I'm making content, even if it's the stupidest thing on TikTok or Instagram, or I'm writing a new series, or I'm writing the book, that this is all striving to accomplish something, to learn something. And then you talking about this show, and you're striving and you're using these kind of conversations to learn something. It's just, there's something real interesting about how we're both attempting to learn the same thing from two somewhat different reasonings and paths, but they all kind of lead to the same thing. It's just, I find it incredibly interesting.
Yeah, man. It's, you know, it's so funny how, and I've kind of given myself over to the process nowadays. Like, sometimes I'll just have this inkling where I want to do something. I want to try this thing. And the last thing was like, I think I want to do some public speaking this year. And, you know, I've been kind of like putting together some talk tracks and stuff like that. And when my wife was like, you know, what are you wanting to get out of it? And I said, I don't know yet. I don't know where it's going to go. 'Cause like, I've done so many things, and I expected one result, and something completely different came out of it, you know? And I never know. I've just learned now to, at this point, trust my instincts. Like, if I feel like, hey, I want to do something, even if I don't know why, I just go for it and see what comes out, because it's usually something interesting, or there's growth in there somehow.
Yeah. What is that comedy style where it's like they just riffed? You get a group of people and
improv?
That's it. It's therapeutic improv. You're just doing therapeutic improv. You're yes-anding yourself into a deeper understanding.
100%. So my
it.
talk track, that's one of the pieces I have in there, is that you have to perform improv. You just yes and everything that comes at you.
You are an interesting dude. I like this. You're an interesting cat.
I'm a different kind of, and I'm made a little different. Yeah, that's one of the core tenets, is you do improv with people. Another one that I think has been really useful for me is suspension of disbelief. So when you go into a conversation, I try, and that's something I learned from the movies, because I absolutely love going to the movies. So for somebody who can't always feel a lot of things, the movies have been able to like draw stuff out of me, like, you know, like make me actually feel. This is going to sound crazy, but I was so devoid of emotion for most of my life that I enjoyed going to funerals, because sometimes I could feel something. And so sometimes it was better to feel sadness than absolutely nothing at all. So it's weird. I've since taught myself to like feel other things and, you know, have all, you know, like my emotions are expanding, which is kind of scary because sometimes now I'll feel things and I don't have any control of those feelings. Like I can't just, you know, lock it down or whatever. Like sometimes it gets away from me, which is weird. It's like, I don't know how you people walk around all the time like this. It freaks me out, but I'm not all the way there yet. But yeah, so it's very strange, but suspension of disbelief. I love going to the movies. And for me, I go into a conversation just like I do a movie. So you're sitting at the movie, you know, like when a car transforms into a robot and punches another robot that was just a jet, you don't like stand up at the screen and like freak out, right? It's like I'm suspending my disbelief, right? Obviously, you know, I'm just going to be here for the ride. And I do that with a lot of my conversations, even like the ones I have in person. So it allows me to hear somebody say something wildly different than I believe. And I can still listen and ask, you know, what makes you feel that way? Because it's usually those strong convictions or feelings. And I just try and pick at that and see where that comes from. So it's another, I think, really useful tool for me.
Yeah, and there is something fun about just yes-anding it.
100%. It's like, a blast.
It also creates almost like this weird serendipitous event. Like, I'll give you an example. So I started the Edge of the World broadcast, and I yes-anded my way into writing it. And then I yes-anded my way into doing it, and then I just, pure happenstance, I just so happened to work with a voice actor who sounds basically like the voice of God. It sounded like if Kratos wanted to have sex with your mom. All right? Just pure fucking chocolate across the board. David Cook is just, he's such a talented guy. But the funny part is it's just yes-anding. I find out that one of my favorite concerts I ever went to was Bo Diddley Jr. and the All-Stars in Indianapolis, right? And then just by yes-anding and just going with it, just finding where this story and where the adventure is going to take me. One of my favorite shows, fell madly in love with a woman at that show, right? Just out of the blue. And then 20 some odd years later, I find out that's Bo Diddley Jr.'s son. Like, I'm working with Bo Diddley Jr.'s kid.
That's wild.
It's just a weird serendipitous events that happen when you yes and just go with it. Fuck it. Let's figure it out.
Life feels so incredibly random. And I think the more you lean into that, the more interesting things. Because, again, like I talked to somebody one time and they described art to me this way. They said, you have an idea of what your art's going to be, right, when you start. But they said the art is going to tell you what it wants to be, and it's going to become whatever it wants to be. So that, like, you start something, you know, and later on you found out you took that right turn at Albuquerque and you're somewhere completely different, right? And oftentimes I find myself in a happy place, and you never can tell, but you don't start, you're never going to get there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing, you know, and we said it before. We said it earlier when we were talking about how can you, you know, how do you maintain being open and whatnot with people different and learning and growing and the capacity to empathize and whatnot and wanting to empathize. There is something else in that conversation we had mentioned that I think really helps when it comes to the creative process is just the willingness to learn and go. And I think that's so important. And I know I sound I sound so fucking pithy and over the top because I'm the guy who makes fart jokes on TikTok. All right? Like,
they're really good fart jokes, though.
I try. God damn it, thank you. I really try. I really try. But there is something about, I feel that after 5 or 6 years of grinding away on TikTok, I think the only reason I have the success or the beginning of success, like I'm beginning to see financial success from it. I think the only reason I have that now, and to be like here, just talking to you, I think the only reason I have that is because I was willing to follow it like you do. Just see where it goes. Don't just yes and go with it. Because before it was all real strict and real regimented, and I got to do this, and I have to make sure I do this. Now it's just kind of like, let's go. You're figure it out.
Yeah. Trusting that it's gonna be okay, no matter what happens, right?
Yeah. So that's remember we were talking about being brave. Yeah, that's my hardest part. Just trust it's gonna be okay. No, not for my overthinking ass.
That's she probably can't hear me. But one of the early, like when I was dating my wife, we had a little pregnancy scare, and she said, "Don't worry, everything will be okay." And everything was okay. And since then, like if I'm feeling overwhelmed, like I can just go back to that. Like she's right. She said it to me multiple times before, and everything's always been okay. Like it somehow or another, everything always just works out. Right? It may not be the way I expected, but it works out. It's okay.
Yeah, you're still above ground. You're still breathing.
Yeah, we're still rocking and rolling. Yeah, 100%. I'm still here. I'm still bald as shit. Like, what could be bad?
Listen, you don't need hair with that power mustache of yours. Okay?
It's just compensating.
No,
for the
you're
lack
not.
of hair.
That is pure power. One of the old podcasts I had was called the Curly Mustache Podcast. And that's all I've been able to think of, staring at that powerful mustache.
Oh, yeah, my wife used to say I had resting angry face. And like during COVID, like many people, instead of cultivating a sourdough, I grew this mustache just as like a thing to do. And she was like, you know what? It makes you look less angry. Kind of like you're always smiling. I was like, shit, really? And sure enough, people seem to be more interested in talking to me after the mustache. So I just kept it.
No, there were a few moments in the conversation when you were staring intently where I half expected you to be like, yes, to the train tracks with you.
I'm entering my evil era. My
yes.
my Bullwinkle, like whatever the bad guy was from that. Dudley something? No. It escapes me.
Dudley Do-Right was the hero.
Yeah, he was the good guy. That's not right.
What was this? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's going to come to me.
Such is life.
10 minutes after we're off.
For sure, man. All right, brother. Well, you're doing... I noticed you haven't released anything for the Edge of the World broadcast since like 2024. But you said you're working on a couple of new ones. What do those look like?
Oh, yeah. We brought the Edge of the World broadcast complete. We the full story end. We gave it 3 seasons. I went with the British television route, which was short seasons, all killer, no filler.
I love it.
The next one is going to be Mr. Fox, which is basically it's a haunted house story with the titular Mr. Fox being the ghost that was in my grandma's basement when I was a kid.
I dig it.
Oh no, that let me just tell you something real quick.
Do you believe in ghosts? Like, are we serious?
Yes. Okay. I'm 100% dead serious.
All right.
I'm going to say this because I know my mother's going to listen, and I use this to rip on her every single time because everyone's like, Joel, you're full of shit. There's not someone standing there. We don't talk about that. And then now that I'm in my 40s, they're like, oh yeah, we saw crazy shit. Like the doors would open, someone standing in the shadow. I'd see people walk between the hallway from the bathroom to the bedroom. I'm the only one in the house. Oh yeah, we totally saw people walk in front of the window.
So you've been gaslit your whole life.
Oh yeah. But I decided I was like, Mr. Fox, because that's what they used to call him. I didn't have a name for him. I just knew what he looked like standing in the corner of the basement. So I decided to take that guy and turn it into a story about generations of families, of a singular family living in the same kind of house that has had this entity connected to them and their house.
I dig it.
And a story of like using it kind of like a metaphor for mental health issues.
I dig it. I actually talked to some paranormal investigators, and that sounds like a really fun Saturday night.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Like going around and hunting ghosts, dude. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in like everything. Okay? I'm a big believer in the weird shit I can't explain. All right? That one I'll believe in. The other stuff, I'm like, you're going to have to work real hard to sell me on it. Like when I went to Scotland, that hotel room that I legitimately grabbed my shit and hoofed it to the office and begged for another room. Dude, okay. I'm sitting in the room.
All right.
I've been there for 10 minutes, right? When I got to the hotel, I get in there. It's nice little bungalow-like thing in Scotland. I get in there, put my shit down, turn the heater on because it's February. That's the only time I go overseas because it's the cheapest. So it's February in Scotland, right? Turn the heat on, walk out, flip a coin, right, left. All right, I'm going. Come back a couple hours later. The room is nice and toasty. This is important to the story. It's nice and warm. Get off the phone with my kids, and I'm in there for maybe 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, cold enough I can see my breath. Like, what the fuck is this? And I'm honestly thinking I'm having a panic attack, right? Like I'm 5 seconds away from having a panic attack. I don't know why. It hasn't happened in a long time, but my grandma on my dad's side would call it, oh, you've got a case of the gitchy. Something's gonna get you. You don't know what it is. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it so cold? Why am I freaking out? And then all of a sudden, TV turns itself on.
Bruh.
So I stand up and I do what any rational human being does, which is march over there yelling, oh, fuck this. Fuck no. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Unplug the TV. And it's outside, the closet that I had just walked past starts shaking violently like there's someone on the other side. The door handle fucking up and down, up and down. So I go over there. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? Can't get the door open. It's not locked. I physically can't move it. Right? And it's at that moment, all of a sudden, the tea machine turns itself on. Just click. And again, do what anyone rational does, which is scream, okay, fuck this. Fuck you. No, we're not doing this. Fuck you. Unplug that. And all of a sudden, it's like someone hit the door, like punched the door as hard as they could, the front door as hard as they could. And I'm like, I don't want to open this. That was my exact words. I don't want to fucking do this. I open up the door. The hall's dark because in the UK, it's all light motion activated. And it only goes off like 2 minutes after no one's been standing still. So who's punching my damn door? So I immediately grab myself and haul off. That I believe. Because I can't explain that. That's an occurrence that I cannot explain or rational away. You know?
Do you think there's some people that are more, I don't know, man, attuned to the spiritual plane where that stuff's going to kind of find them? Are you one of those lucky few?
God, no.
Like,
God,
why is it following you? Like, why don't most people experience this stuff?
They're very lucky.
You think you're just unlucky?
I think with
You don't think there's anything special about you?
No, not in that aspect.
Maybe.
Not in that aspect. No.
Maybe.
Listen, welcome to the land of self-denial. I'm going to gaslight the fuck out of myself. I am not that special. Okay? Stop trying. I'm not special like that.
Well, I'm not saying it's like a special that anybody wants, brother.
I'm not special like that.
It sounds like
damn
a
it.
bit of like an affliction to me, but
No, but yeah, no. When it comes to spooky do stuff, if I can see it, if it's a personal experience that I can't rationally explain, then yeah, okay, I believe that. But like Ghost Hunters, those TV shows, I don't really believe it. I have fun going and doing that. Oh,
yeah.
It's oodles of fun.
I bet it would be a blast. Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun because it's so stupid. Because you're running around with your friends in the dark, and you're kind of getting freaked out. Yeah, it's fun. Dumb shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it, man.
And then the other show, The Progenitor, is going to be hopefully after that one, which is basically like, what if every monster and legend and cryptid did in fact come from somewhere true, was in fact something that existed or either exists or did exist, where would they come from? And then this follows the story of the one that that basically fathers them.
Oh, weird.
The entity that created them throughout history.
So just over time, it's like creating more and more of these things, or it's created at a point? Like, what are we talking about?
No, he from basically when the Earth started to cool, this thing was there. This entity. We call him the Progenitor.
The Progenitor.
Right? And just throughout history. Oh, look, I'm going to eat people. And, oh, that one survived. And because that person was from Mesopotamia and had a certain belief system, well, he survived. And because he believed certain things, he created what we now know as the Dryad in Mesopotamian culture. So just something like that.
That's cool.
I'm still working on I got the first idea, the first iteration of it, but it kind of sucked. So I'm going over it now, like real hard.
Well, that one feels evergreen. Like you're always going to be able to come up with like new little things for it.
Yeah, but it's writing it. I've also discovered when I'm writing, it's like, man, you got to really be careful about the painting yourself in a corner and have to ghost in the machine your way out of it, because you can only do that so many times. You get one good chance. If you listen to Edge of the World broadcast, you're going to hear the one ghost in the machine moment to get myself out of the corner I wrote myself into.
Well, somebody who doesn't believe in retconning, you apparently don't like Star Wars, right?
I love Star Wars.
Don't they retcon stuff all the time?
Yeah. But retconning and... if it's done fine, I don't mind it. Like Doctor Who does it all the time. I still love me some Supernatural. Supernatural. One of my favorite TV shows of all time. They did it every damn episode. I don't mind. If it's done well enough, I don't mind. The newer Star Wars, I'm still like, what is this? What are you doing?
Well, I heard you. I heard you have some opinions on the new Jurassic Park movie. Your face. I'm gonna eat on that for a week. That was delicious.
There is nothing. There is no retconning in that. It is just the dumbest writing ever. You have a great cast. You have a cast of actors who are genuinely good. All right, Scarlett Johansson's, she's really good. All the other actors, whose names are completely escaping me right now, they're all good actors.
I thought so too.
But they are all the most poorly written, makes no sense kind of actors. The kind of plot that I'm frustrated I can't even think straight.
You know what I did like in that movie was every time a dinosaur was swimming. I like that. Like the big boys, and then when the T-Rex swam, I thought like the VFX on that were like so good. I was like, that's cool.
Yes, it was. Everything else felt cheap, but you put the Mosasaurus was really well done, and the T-Rex in the water was really well done.
Yeah.
But like the T-Rex going into the water, just from like watching from a clinical point of view, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, oh God, I have so many fucking thoughts on that. It made me so mad. It made my it made Eli mad, the 13-year-old, because he was just like, why would they introduce that at the beginning and then right at the very end? I don't know anything about it, Dad. What is it? I don't get it. I'm like, welcome to my world.
I know, dude. And that thing, as big as they had hyped it up, it got what, like 5 minutes of screen time? There's like almost nothing there.
it looked like they were just like, people like Aliens, the Aliens film. Let's just make a dinosaur out of that. The little hands, the big hands,
Yeah.
the giant bulbous forehead. It was just a rip off of Aliens. Ridley Scott's Aliens.
What's the, in like the original Star, well, I mean, he's still in the other Star Wars too, but like the monster that was down in like the pit or whatever, what was that thing called?
Oh my God, the Rancor.
Rancor. Doesn't it kind of like smell sort of like Rancor inspired?
Nope.
Yeah.
The moment you said that, you're absolutely right. I take back, it does have a little bit of xenomorph. Nope, the face is pure Rancor. No, you're 100% right.
Yeah, it kind of, at least like inspired by, or a little of that in there, right?
That is congenital birth defect Rancor.
Its mom was smoking and drinking while it was in the womb.
It was smoking, drinking, and its dad was her brother. That's what. Listen, I normally do try and not make those kind of jokes, but after Jurassic Park Rebirth, no, fuck that. That movie.
Now I'm gonna say, the very first movie, the first Jurassic Park, it goes in my all-time top 10 of probably favorite movies ever, and everything after that has been a travesty. But I would say of all of the sequels, this was maybe the least bad, and I'm not sure if I was just in like the right place, because I was telling myself when I was going to see it how horrible this was going to be. I was like, this is going to be awful. And I sat there and I let myself get like the big stadium hot dog, right? And I had the mustard, and I had my popcorn, and I had my large soda. So I don't know, man. Like, maybe I just put myself on the right place to think it was the least bad of all the sequels. I'm not saying it was good, but I'm saying I think it was the least bad.
Yeah, you put yourself in a real good place. You said that giant hot dog, and I was like, I can understand where he's coming from now.
Yeah,
the funny part is, and I will say this is the first one I took my youngest, the 10-year-old, to. I took him and his brother, and speaking of my dad took me to go see the first Jurassic Park around the same time. At his age, I might have been 12. And the Raptors came on, and I, grabbed my dad's arm with one hand and then did this, cover it up, like looking through while screaming, I can't look! I can't look! I can't look! Everyone in the theater laughed their ass off at me. Now, 37 years later, I have my literal blonde-haired clone grabbing my arm, leaving marks, covering it with one hand and looking through, going, Daddy, I can't look! Oh, God, I can't look! Oh, God! So, yeah, it's funny. As much as I hated the movie, I did enjoy the full circle moment. That one, for me, was pretty awesome.
Yeah. When was the last time you watched the original Jurassic Park?
Like a year ago.
God, it still holds up, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It still looks so good.
It is the high watermark for visual effects.
It's incredible.
It is one of those few movies which is I think Spielberg and
James Cameron
are the best when they are the masters of integrating CGI and practical effects. Like the Alien 2, Aliens, phenomenal.
So good.
You still can't tell when the when the CGI is. Jurassic Park, it's so good. There's just a few moments you're like, all right, that's CGI. Or is that a puppet? You know what I'm saying? Those two are the masters of that.
I think even though sometimes you could tell it's CGI, it's still not bad enough to like pull you out of the movie. Like you're still in it and you're with it. So something else media related, because I just was digging through your once I found you, I started digging through some of your stuff as one is wont to do, and I saw your rant on, I'm not saying rant, your feelings and thoughts on Kevin Smith, and I have very similar thoughts and feelings towards Kevin Smith as well. He seems like a genuinely kind human who really puts himself out there, and seems like maybe to a fault, he is like very giving to his community, and all of the people that sort of enjoy his work. And it feels singularly unique. Like, I don't know anybody else that kind of has that sort of spirit, charisma, that care that he has about everything he does and the people that surround. You know what? It just feels like he wants to just play with his friends all the time, and he concocts scenarios where he can hang out with his friends and try and bring everybody else along with him.
I think that's exactly what he does. He's just one of those guys that just is like, I am lucky enough to be in a place where I can just follow my whimsy. And I'm going to bring you all along because I like attention and I like bringing you along with it.
Oh, yeah. He's not ashamed to say that he loves attention either.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah, this is me. I love it. Please praise me.
Yeah, exactly.
I dig it.
I will say there was one other guy. So the story with why I say Kevin Smith is a saint of a guy, he sent that fuck you cancer to my dad, a picture of him. And you ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
I think I've caught a couple, but I've never watched it religiously.
There's an actor on there, Aaron Douglas. He played Chief Tyrell. And arguably, you have to understand, during that time, Battlestar Galactica, when it was on, was one of the most popular TV shows on the planet. For 3 or 4 years, it was Battlestar Galactica was one of the biggest shows. And he was kind enough to send my dad a picture with a whole bunch of other actors, and it was very cool. But he actually would follow me on Twitter when it was back in the day, and I would write something, just like I was having a bad day, and I open up my email account, and there's an email from him just checking up on me.
No way, dude.
I've noticed, and I say this with absolute kindness, it's the heavyset dudes from up north, Canada and Jersey. It's the heavyset guys who are genuinely in the entertainment industry who are the nicest human beings on the planet. That's something weird I've discovered.
I dig it. That's such a cool story. Have you ever watched An Evening with Kevin Smith?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fantastic. I think that was probably when I really started to really like Kevin Smith. And maybe it was because you really got to get a taste of who he as a person is. And it's just that kind of understanding. I don't think, how many opportunities do you really have that with an actor or a director or anything where you really get the sense of who this person is? I can't really think of too many other opportunities where I've seen that.
Well, you could see it, but it all feels real manufactured. It feels very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
I think what the appeal to Kevin Smith, and what I try and do when I make my stuff, is I try to not make it, and Kevin definitely tries to not, I'm talking like he's on a first name basis.
My guy.
What the fuck am I doing here?
K. Smith.
Yeah, K. Smith and we got something common, yo. But try and make it not cookie cutter. Try and make it more, make it appealing to people, but make it really appealing to those who are, you just know you're going to like it. It doesn't have to be exactly like everyone else. I think that's part of the appeal of Kevin Smith, is that it's not the cookie cutter. When you get there, you're not going to get that tried and true Hollywood sensibilities for anything.
Yeah, I dig it. You know what? I just looked down at the clock and we are actually over time. And I knew I was going to get in trouble with this, that I would just continue to talk to you. I 100% knew this was going to happen. So, again, I want to be very respectful of your time because it is an absolute gift and you are a treasure. And I really appreciate you giving it to me. So right here at the end, I like to ask people, is there anything you want to promote, anything you want to push? Obviously, you have some socials that you desperately need to get out there. So let the people have it.
Yep, you can find me on Instagram at the Fuel Neve, Fuelneve. TikTok at Fuel Neve, and on iTunes, Spotify, you can find Mr. Fox. The teaser trailer is up. We should have the new first few episodes up within the next 2 months. You can catch up on the Edge of the World broadcast. And my OnlyFans is... No, wait, sorry.
You got to diversify, my guy. Don't say no.
Listen, it didn't work out the first time I tried that. We're not going to do it again.
But didn't we just talk about pushing through failure? Like, wasn't that a big portion of our conversation?
Yes, you're absolutely right. But there's also, you can grow and expand from failure. Biological failure is not, you can't grow past what that is. There's a limit.
Hey man, there's somebody out there for everybody. Everybody's got a kink for somebody. So
spoken like a man, hung like a moose. I don't want to hear your shit. Sorry, I just made this really gross. I'm so sorry.
No, we just became best friends.
Fuck
oh
yeah.
my days. Yeah, dude. All right, I appreciate you. Let me hit stop on all this stuff really quick.